Everybody, to another edition of the Love and Action Network podcast featuring Deconstruction Junction as the gathering of the moment. We are here now on Wednesdays midday, unpacking all of the things that we see in our surrounding. I'm Dr. Flo, not telling you what I heard, but what I know. What I know is that you're loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable, and you're going to be loved and lovable for the rest of your life. And how you feel about your loved and lovable nature is going to contribute to the happiness that you will allow into your day. I'm joined. I should also say, I'm an online coach and mentor, facilitator, counselor, and guide to those who want to see their wildest dreams come true. Joined every week by the fabulous Tara Praolo Studio, who will introduce herself to you now.
Wildest dreams are for you Swifties out there, you're welcome. You're welcome. I've taught that song a couple times. I'm Tara Priolo. I am your resident Black. How does it go? I'm your resident Black biracial multi-passionate musician. I talk about the ish that nobody wants to talk about, but you do the same. I am we're gonna work on this. I gotta work on this. That I am a voice and identity coach. We're gonna feel that out. How about that? We're going to feel it out. You'll find out a little bit more about that at the end of the podcast, so stay listening. If you are out there, is there anybody out there? And then you get the echo. It's like every mountain movie that you've ever seen. If you are out there and you would like to come chitter chat with us about current events or how you are deconstructing or decolonizing personally, or your community is, etc., you are more than welcome to have your name here. We are also, we were just talking about this before we got on. If you're interested in being Dr. Flo's co-host in the month of July, we would love to have you, because people say that I need to take a maternity leave. And supposedly I'm having a baby at the end of June. So if you're interested in being me, but yourself as me, let us know at I was going to say lovedandlovable.bow.link, but that's not where people are going no more. Right? They're going to lovedandlovable.org. .orgy poo. Lovedandlovable.org. Okay? And your name will be on the screen. And you're welcome to come on as a guest before July and then do July. Right.
We'll do some tryouts on people to see if they are into the programming and into the discussion, and we'll do some screen tests in front of a live audience just so that people can get their wits about them, and then we'll see where life takes us. No matter what, it's going to be an adventure, because Love and Action Network is all about great sex, great food, great adventures, and also great rest. Tara is transitioning in and out of lunchtime with her baby, but she's the first slide, as always, to talk today about Trump's genocide.
Yeah, okay. So those of you that were on the internet yesterday or I don't know, I guess I don't know if the major news stations were like talking about it all day or not. But essentially, if you go to the next slide, I will read you exactly what Trumpykins truthed yesterday. What he had said was, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. Which is a weird thing to say when you just said that you were going to genocide all of them. So the backstory of this is that on on Sunday evening, Easter, Trump put out this truth that was like, Iran needs to agree to a ceasefire deal and open the strait, or else bad things will happen Tuesday night at 8. And people, the thing that gets me all the time about this is that, like, so many of y'all believe him. You have noodles, yes. So many of y'all, like, really truly, like, believe you're like, the policy is coming from the Truth Social post. Now he's a little insane, but I didn't really think that he was going to drop nukes yesterday. I didn't really think, like, I didn't think he was going to do it, because then he wouldn't, like, it just wasn't going to happen. Okay. And those of you that were scared, valid emotion, but, like, also, anyway, I'm sure he got a bunch of pushback. And also we came to find out yesterday that he's not been talking to the Iranian leadership. He's actually been talking to Pakistan. So 1 hour before 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern last night, he truthed out and said, JK, there's going to be a 2-week ceasefire as long as Iran opens the strait. Then Iran was like, girl, y'all lost. Here's our 10-point ceasefire deal, and we're not opening the strait. So I don't mean to laugh about war, but I also just feel like this is such a laughable, like, rich boy trying to be the, like, it honestly reminds me of Joffrey in Game of Thrones, who, like, accidentally cut off Ned Stark's head. Right? Like, he accidentally did that. He didn't plan to do that. He didn't mean to do that. It just happened that way. He was like, oops, I did it. You know? And that's kind of the way that I feel like Trump is. He's like a toddler with the nuke codes. But I also, something that I said in a Yap that I haven't posted yet, is that I think that a lot of people discount Trump for being really stupid. And in a lot of ways, he is really stupid. But, like, he's not that stupid. He's smart enough to have allied himself with enough people that he's gotten elected in this country twice. So let's be very clear that, like, he does have some level of intelligence, and I don't think he's going to compromise that by dropping nukes on a country, you know? So that's the update on Iran. There was also some other stuff that happened over the weekend, like a jet got shot down, an American jet got shot down, and then there was this, like, a manhunt for one of the pilots, and somehow the U.S. found him first. Like, there was something very strange about that whole thing. So, yeah, that's what's happening. And Iran is like, we're going to take down your tech companies. If you kill all of us, we're going to take down your tech companies. We're going to ruin everything. So, that's where we're at.
Thank you, Tara. Yes, we've talked for years on camera and off camera about the fact that the man is brilliant at marketing, and he's amazingly connected, and he's a brilliant liar. And when you have those types of things in confluence, it's how you get this maniacal regime in power. And the people who have placed him there and want him to remain there are very, very happy about it, because he has the gift of, like so many, of saying a whole lot of nothing and still have people pay attention to him. It's actually quite remarkable. But to say that you're going to wipe a civilization off the entire face of the earth is something that doesn't sit very right with me.
Well, and also, just of note, Congress didn't come running back to Washington. They're on recess. And most of Congress was like, you do you, bro. It's good. It's a joke.
Well,
It's a
Congress
joke.
Congress are thespians. Our members of Congress are paid theater actors, no different than myself. And they also have been paid by people who want to keep them in power. They're bankrolled by corporations and institutions. They like being invited. They like being invited to the swanky parties. They like their perks. Their palms have been scratched. So this is how we get what we have. And we were talking yesterday, I'm not sure if it's in the slide deck or not, about how catastrophic things like a genocide have to happen for people to actually take what's happening sociopolitically seriously, because we have been in this stinky, dirty brine of suffering for decades. And they've gotten used to showing us something happy on our feeds and then something devastating. Something happy, something devastating. Something happy, something happy, something happy, something devastating. So a lot of us are working for financial stability and pretty much have numbed out to the nonsense because it's heavy. It can be very, very heavy to carry. So, um, Darth Dementia is going to do what Darth Dementia does. I want to talk today a bit about adults making friends. Some of you are saying to me in coaching and also on the internet that it's hard to break the cycles of isolation and to make friends in your late 20s, especially in your post college years, late 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s. I just want to let you know that we can deconstruct and dismantle that idea today. Um, it's not hard to make friends and meet people. I do it every day and every week. And it's not because I am special or anything like that, but because I have the desire. And there's lots of us who have the desire. I just got off the phone call with one of our new correspondents and hosts for the LIA Global Consciousness Exchange, a wonderful lady named Sonia who's in the UK. And she got on in her time zone to meet with us about elevating the consciousness and bringing healing to people through Love and Action Network. She was on time. She had a beautiful attitude. I had never met her before. And we left the call as amazing friends. And I dare say, global cousins. So don't be fooled by the propaganda of unworthiness. Just know that it's possible. I'm typing into the good old chat GPT, what percentage of adults find it difficult to make friends? And it's going to pop me out some results. It's searching the web, gathering resources, and it says roughly about half of adults report that making new friends is difficult. A recent large US study found that 51% of Americans said it is difficult to make new friends as an adult. Many adults maintain only around 4 to 5 close friends on average, and about 1 in 6 adults reports feeling lonely or isolated all or most of the time. So this is extremely wild. If you can go to the grocery store and you see 6 adults, one of them is feeling extremely lonely or isolated. And Love and Action has solutions. We really do. We have solutions for that. And coming closer to our vibration of hope. I got a DM on my screen from Georgia DDS telling me to resolve my parking citation before 4/9/26 or face penalties. 35% increase, suspended license, blocked registration renewal, secure payment, and that is not
What is it from a Georgia number?
It is from a
International number, probably. I get those.
no,
I get those.
it's from North Carolina. It's from
Oh
Raleigh,
Lord,
Durham, North
I
Carolina.
get international numbers that text me about a Nebraska violation because my phone number is Nebraska. My area code is Nebraska. Girl,
My thing is if you want to scam me properly, make sure that your spacing is right. There's like 3 spaces between each word in this text. Who does that unless they're having a medical situation?
well, Trump.
That
Maybe
part.
Trump is texting you. Maybe Trump is texting you. Yeah.
So the point is 1 in 6 adults find it difficult to make friends and are often walking around surrounded by people and they're lonely. What do you do when it comes to like making new acquaintances and making new friends, either online or in real life?
I guess I kind of feel like I'm in between on this because like I have a lot of people that are around me and I would say I have the close circle of 3, 4-ish friends, right? But like I'm not the person that is going to try to be your friend. Like I can meet you and move on with my whole life and not ever think about you again. Like I'm just that person. Like I do not like people that way. I don't want you in my business. I don't want to have to waste time on you. Like I don't know. So while I agree it can be easy to make friends, I also think that so many people are living such a surface level life, like that it's very hard for someone that lives her life very deeply to relate to them, right? Like oftentimes, like for instance, if I'm in a show and was a couple months ago, like I don't talk to those people 3 months later. And the reason that I don't talk to them is because a lot of them are surface level people. A lot of them are like, they're not going to go into depth with you. And I just think that that's kind of like, what's the point? Like, I don't want to small talk with you. I'd rather actually get to know you. So, yeah. That being said, there's a guy at the grocery store that I can never remember his name, child. He loves me. He's going to be so surprised when I come in with my new car and we're going to talk about the new car because he loved my green car and now I've got the gray car and now like he's going to be so surprised and be like, you're always driving different cars. And I'm like, I know, it makes me look like I'm richer than I am. And he always asks me to check the produce and we always have some conversation. Like he went to LA a few weeks ago. Like he's my friend. You know what I mean? He's my friend. But and also the old man at Target, when I do a Target pickup, he is so sweet. He doesn't know we're friends because I don't know his name and he does not know my name and we don't talk, but he is such a nice guy. So I would consider us friends. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. Like I feel like I'm in the middle of like, and perhaps it's because I have such a good support system. I often feel like the people that are saying that they're lonely either didn't grow up with a good support system or didn't like establish one in their 20s and 30s. Whereas like a lot of my support system is from my family and also my college years. Like I have a lot of 10, 15, 20, 30-year relationships. So, and I like not everybody can say that. But that being said, there's also people that I knew 15 years ago that I would never want to talk to again. And it doesn't bother me. I don't know what we're talking about. I mean, I don't know what the child is talking about. There is a video that goes with this. This is court-ordered C-section. So I've heard of 2 of these cases. Both of them have happened to Black women within the last couple months. Hyper, stop. And it has to do with okay. Let's watch the video, and then I think I have commentary because I'm very torn on this topic. I'm very torn. Yeah. So let's try it.
C-section hearing, and I want to just clear something up for y'all because a lot of people don't really understand what's going on here, right? This is more than just a sad, traumatic birth story. This is more than a misunderstanding and miscommunication with a patient and a provider, right? This is documented obstetric violence and medical racism right in front of you. Bodily autonomy does not go out the window when you get pregnant. The right as a patient to make informed choice and even informed refusals does not go out the window because you are pregnant. The question is not about whether you believe in VBACs or, your personal feelings. This is about whether it is okay to take a mentally competent grown adult woman to court to force them to have a surgery, a major surgery, against their will. And according to ACOG guidelines, this is unethical. We're not even going to get into the legal side of the constitutional and human and civil rights violations that occurred. This is not okay. This is never okay. All the people saying they need more context, no, you don't. Either you believe in bodily autonomy for women or you don't. Either you believe that women have the right to choose or you do not. Either you believe that women have rights or you don't. It's no in between. It's no on the fence. It's none of that. And we need to understand the implications of something like this, right? Because it starts here with court-ordered C-sections. Next, are they going to be court ordering people to not be able to get on birth control? Are they going to be court ordering people to get pregnant? Even though you said you don't want kids, but the birth rate is low. You need to understand the slippery slope that we are on when stuff like this happens. And the sad part is it's happening all over the country. They did this same thing to a non-black woman in 2018 in New York. They did this same thing to Breonna Bennett 18 months prior to my situation in Tallahassee, in Florida. They did this to Laura Pemberton in the 90s. And people saying, why don't you just leave? Laura Pemberton did leave. And guess what? They sent the sheriff's department to drag her out her house and bring her back to the hospital. So I need y'all to understand the implications of this and how far people are going to get what they want. It's not okay. Hey, y'all. I'm Sharice. I'm the mom from the viral court.
Okay.
Good for her and standing up for herself and speaking up for herself and like coming forward and like saying like, yo, this is not okay.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I think there are multiple things happening here because I fully agree with her that women deserve autonomy over our bodies and we have the right to choose. However, when a full-term baby is breech, or when a baby is having problems via vaginal delivery, you're risking killing your baby by continuing that vaginal birth. And so the answer is often C-sections because it gets the baby out faster and it allows us to save the mother, the health of both, right? And so I think in a lot of these cases, it's like, it is that the baby is breech, or it is that there's a shoulder dystocia, or it is that labor has stalled and the water broke 48 hours ago, which is a huge risk for infection. And so, I think there is a lot of misinformation and disinformation in particular in the world of OBGYN and pregnancy and birth. And I also find that a lot of these women who decline the C-section, even in these emergency situations, and I'm not saying that it's right that they took her to court. I think that is so wrong. She was literally in labor and they like put a screen in her room to talk to the judge. I think there are the reason that people don't want C-sections is because they don't believe that it's natural birth. And they don't believe that their bodies are not working, right? And they believe that a woman's body, like you're not a woman if you're not able to give birth naturally vaginally. And that's not the reality, right? You're not a woman because you can't get pregnant. You're not a woman because you gave birth via C-section. You're not a woman because you don't have a period every month. Like, and so like there's so many issues tied into this, but like as a mom and as someone that has had a C-section and as someone who survived an induction and was in the hospital for 5 days and had lots of medical interventions, knowing that my child almost starved, like I'm still like, give me the C-section if my baby is breech or my baby cannot come out, because I don't want my baby to die. Right. And I feel like there's a lack of understanding that it's not because it's a Black woman sitting in front of them. It's literally because the medical industry has determined that if a baby is breech, it can kill the mother and it can kill the baby. And I know that's hard to hear, but also like there's so many people that are so afraid of C-sections because it's quote unquote so much harder to heal. Girl, y'all gonna be out there, y'all with the vaginal births, y'all be out there bleeding for 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks. With my C-section, I was good to go in 3, and that's not true for everybody. It's certainly not true for everybody, but like, I feel like the quiet part that isn't being said out loud enough about these cases, which again, I do not think should be going to court while the mother is in labor, right? But I think that the part that is not being said is this part of the belief that a C-section means that you have failed as a mother or a woman, and that it is not a quote unquote natural birth. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to save both mother and baby. So once again, like I don't agree with the court thing. I don't agree. I believe that women should have autonomy, and what if these women went home, continued to labor, and the baby and the mom died? Then what would we be talking about?
Well, but your positioning doesn't sound like my body by choice. Your positioning sounds like what happened.
Do we want to save ourselves, or do we want to save like?
But if the mother is opting out and she unalives herself and her baby, that's her business. Why is the state intervening?
Well, I don't know why the state is intervening, but I would hope that you have built a trusted team that is not going to do the things that these doctors chose to do. Because right, these are anti-choice states that this is happening in. Right? She mentioned like Florida, but I can't imagine that in blue states and places with more pro-choice laws that they're calling, a court in the middle of labor to make them have a C-section. right?
I don't have a womb, but I don't like the idea of other people making the decision. Like if she makes a horrible choice and it's her choice and she signs off on that choice, who are these other humans to stop her from doing what she wants to do with her body, even if it destroys her?
I believe in saving children and saving people.
I don't know. That sounds a little like the pro life crowd.
Well, it does. And it's because we're not all that different. Like that is the thing when we're talking about like leftists and we're talking about MAGA people, like the distance is not really that far because at the end of the day, like, I mean, sure, maybe you don't have a will to live, right? And we do forbid medically assisted death in many states, right? Which is interesting. It's an interesting choice for these 96, 98-year-olds that just want to go, right? Um, and if the choice is to save my child, I'm going to try to save my child at all cost, including death to me, which could be the C-section, right? Because you can bleed out in a C-section. It's a major surgery. She's not wrong. It's major surgery.
All right, we've got to push forward into my slide of the art of showing up. I just wanted to say, because we only got about 20 minutes left here before I have to head out to my next meeting. If you have a dream and you are serious about your dream, you will show up. And I've seen over the last couple of weeks that people will talk a good game about wanting help and support with their dreams and what they have going on. But some of you are not showing up fully. You're not showing up fully to my sessions. You're not showing up fully to any sessions. I'm here to let you know that's going to depress you. Not being who you say you are, whether it's in Love and Action Network or elsewhere, has a deleterious effect on your self-esteem and your self-worth. And I just want to highlight that the gifts that come to us are through follow-up and follow through. And in all the instances of my life where I have followed up and followed through, I've acquired blessing. And in the instances where I have not followed up and followed through, I've often stalled in my career path. What makes you show up consistently, Tara, for the things that you say that you want?
I said this once in a different mastermind. It's the opportunity at connection, which sounds funny given what we talked about earlier in terms of making friends. But it is like if I have and I guess that's not always true, but when I'm thinking about it, it's like, why am I showing up on social media? Why do I have a website? Why do I continue to find voice students? Why do I continue to explore things in the political realm? It is because of the opportunity of connection, right? It's a serendipity of connection. It's like, what if this next post, right? Which is how social media trapped all of us, okay? What if this next post is like, you're going to meet your soulmate. You're going to meet the next best person to bring you to the next level, right? Like that. And that's what it is. It's like an addiction to the opportunity, right? And I think that those of you that struggle with consistency and struggle with being on time and struggle with excuses, you should come to People Pleasing Anonymous because a lot of that is in People Pleasing Anonymous. But B, I think that there is an opportunity to explore, and Flo was just talking about this on Instagram, or maybe it was TikTok. I don't remember. An opportunity to explore your 5 whys. Like if you're, why do I want connection? Well, because if I don't have connection, I'm I feel lonely because I'm a social being. Well, okay, why is lonely? Like what's bad about lonely, or what makes you uncomfortable about lonely? Well, I just don't like to feel that way. I like to be surrounded by some amount of humans. It's not a lot of humans, but some amount of humans, right? Oh, well, why? Well, because I think it's more fun to live life together than it is to not, right? Well, why? Right? So then you just like keep asking. And I think when you deepen into your why, or your 5 whys, you really start showing up for those things. Um, yeah, yeah, it's your pillars of belief. You know,
Very nice. You want to talk today about self promotion?
yeah. There's a thread next. There's this dude on the internet named From Searles, Searles, Searles. He says promoting your music is a humiliation ritual until it isn't. Post 50 times a day. And I wasn't going to bring this one, but then I saw your art of showing up, and I remembered this particular thread, and just what we were just talking about. It's like, how are you showing up for the thing that you claim is your greatest passion and or your dream? Are you willing? You honest, open, willing, and available to keep posting even when it seems funny, or even when it seems embarrassing, or even when you get called Miss Piggy online? Are you willing to continue when it seems like nobody's looking? Are you willing to talk to yourself for a long time? Sometimes, because yeah, promoting your music can feel like, or promoting your dream, promoting anything can feel like a humiliation ritual until suddenly, but not so suddenly, right? Because again, we are not in control of the algorithms. Until suddenly, it's not. And people are paying attention, and you're having the conversations you want to have. And I hear people say that all the time. Like, I have trouble with self-promotion. How do I promote? And it's like, post anything, or like, my voice students will say, like, I can't sing that high note. How do I sing it? Well, you got to try first, boo boo. Like, if your mouth is closed, you sure ain't gonna sing it. If you're unwilling to press post, you sure ain't gonna, like, you're not gonna promo. It's and it seems so snide and so simple, but that's the reality of it. Like, if you aren't willing to find your why and come to the table, then you're never going to promote your stuff. And you're always going to be wanting someone else to do it for you. Self-love on I Love Day in Love and Action Network. Right? Any thoughts? Oh, self-care. Look at that.
Self-love looks like self-care. Self-care for dummies. Self-care for dummies. This morning I was over on the Instagram doing a refresher with Nikisa Marie Enterprises around self-care. And I just want to remind you all that self-care is any activity that you do to take care of yourself. It rejuvenates your body, refreshes your mind, or realigns your spirit. It relaxes and refuels you. It gets you ready for a new day or a fresh start. It's the practices, rituals, and meaningful activities that you do just for you to help you feel safe, grounded, happy, and fulfilled. And the self-care areas that I'm teaching are physical self-care, emotional self-care, social self-care, mental self-care, spiritual self-care, practical self-care, and quantum field self-care. And I would invite everyone to step closer into my TikToks and my Instagram live streams and my free memberships in order to come in closer to this vibration of hope as it relates to taking care of ourselves and finding ourselves to be more reliable. That's where I was going with that. Knowing that you are reliable and that you can trust yourself is about as close to the energy called God that we can be. What if you had to give people one recommendation on how to care for themselves today, Tara? What would it be?
I need y'all to lean in really close. Drink your water.
It really does change the game.
That's the secret. That's the whole secret, y'all. You want to know how to be a better singer? Drink more water. You want to know how to promote yourself? Drink more water. Do you want to know how to drive a car? Drink more water. You want to know how to go to the grocery store? Drink more water. You want to know how to brush your teeth? Drink more water. You want to know how to get a good night's sleep? Drink more water. You want to know how you wake up without a hangover? Wait for it. Drink more water. Okay.
I've often wondered how many crises, personal and within the collective, have happened because people aren't drinking their water, and why the bombs are dropping, and why we have emotional turbulence and chaos in our families and things,
Listen,
and why we can't call a ceasefire.
When that child that I love very much starts going off and we need a ceasefire in the house, I give everybody in the house a cup of water. I give the dogs the water. I give the child the water. I give mommy some water. I give daddy some water. Everybody's going to sit down and drink water until we can mind our business and act right towards each other. I'm not about that. Y'all going to drink your water in this house for the ceasefire.
That's her way of calling ceasefire. We're calling ceasefire every day here in Love and Action Network, both in our hearts and in the world. If we can be a little less chaotic and more compassionate in the world for ourselves, it's going to ripple out from our overflow. And we thank you all for partnering with that ceasefire message with us. We have Adopt a Black Artist programs right now, including partner programs and sister programs of Creative Access Partner. If you are out there and you have a dream, you need support for your dream, you need check-ins for your dream, you need accountability for your dream, we would love to work with you. I have a goal of having over 365 people in all of my programs each as we move this forward. And so you are invited into those programs. Daily support is happening over on TikTok twice daily, typically as I make my breakfast and also make my early dinner before the people come to get my nursing home attendant tray. Also, if you are looking for admin and support services, we are launching new websites this week for Love City Arts Creative Services. If you need someone to do the work for you because you're busy and you got a couple dollars to throw at the situation, or a couple $100 to throw at the situation, rather, just tap in. We have sliding scale services, a couple thousand, as long as we can get it done to help you amplify, we will. Our Substack is active in addition to the Love and Action Network magazine. We would love for you to check that out and bookmark that if you feel so inclined. It gives you all the up-to-date information on what we're doing within the network as we encourage, equip, and empower the bold dreams of every kind of human. I'm also hiring for Dr. Flow and the Love Experience locally here in Savannah, Georgia. I'm looking for musicians, dancers, singers, and actors. If you are a person in the Savannah, Georgia area, or even if you want to participate online, I would love to know your rates and your availability as soon as possible to help me cook this show, to let everyone know they're loved and lovable. They've always been loved and lovable, and they're always going to be. Here's a little shot of me, a little concept proposal art of what things will look like when we get to where we're going, and a little bit of reverse engineering and positive belief and expectations going to make it pop. Tara's going to come through now with her announcements coming out of Tara Paraolo's studio.
When I get where I'm going. Okay, I fixed the graphic. But Flo on Instagram earlier referenced this, the liberated voice practice. This is brand new, although I have been talking in and out of it for the past 5 years. This is going to be the tiers of voice lessons in Terra Priolo Studio now. So there will be a membership community for the lowest cost, asynchronous lessons. So you never actually have to see me. Like, we don't got to set up a time. Okay, girl, if you're that busy, we don't got to set up a time. We just going to chitter chat. Okay. And send videos back and forth. There's hybrid, where we have a lesson every other week, plus the async support, and then private lessons, where you get the highest level of support and weekly sessions with me. The tagline there is a reimagined approach to vocal training that centers identity, challenges tradition, and supports personal growth over time. And then I also have my album, I Dream a World, and the I Dream a World archive project, which currently is a series of reels and threads just asking you all to dream a little dream with me over the next few months. If anybody's out there and wants to make a video talking about the dream world they imagine, just DM me, and I am happy to process that and put it to the places that I'm going to be building this on. And that is what I have going on. There's other stuff too, but y'all can follow Instagram and terrapriolo.com/links for that.
Thanks, Tara. What are your closing thoughts?
I wanted to emphasize at the end of this that it's okay for communities to disagree. Did y'all see that earlier in the podcast? Were y'all listening? Go run it back to the C-section section. Run it back about 15 minutes ago, okay? And just notice that, like, we're still sitting on nobody stormed off the podcast. Nobody, like, we're still here. We're still here. So it is okay for communities to disagree. Otherwise, you are building a cult. And we don't need any more cults in the world. We can build more community. We can have real conversations with each other.
Yes. And I would add that controlling people, having a need to control people, controlling their thoughts, controlling their behaviors, controlling their opinions, controlling their actions, I would submit that it is very exhausting. We've talked a lot over the last 2 years on this particular iteration of the podcast about my former cult of Christ belonging.
Amen.
And my membership of the cult and sect of Christianity. I was a born-again believer and Christian who spent a huge percentage of my life judging people and trying to tell them how to live and what to do with their lives, with their bodies, with their time. And the moment that I stopped trying to win people over to my version of salvation was the moment that I got all of my strength back. It takes a lot of mental real estate and a lot of physical fortitude in order to boss people around. I'm no longer interested in that. As long as you're not causing any harm, no foul. And if you're doing loved and lovable things, it's going to show up on your face, in your bank account, in your work, and it'll be good for you without my need for interference. So that being said, on behalf of everybody in our network, especially our leadership team, Terra Priolo Studio, Poppy Water 33, and all of our members and staff, we invite you as always every week to stay in your power, stay in your joy, stay loved and lovable, and we'll see you very, very soon around our fantastic network. Take care.